What is up, my friends? Welcome to John Smoltz Day here on the show, where every single week the Hall of Famer from the Atlanta Braves joins us to talk through whatever we want to talk through. This week, he is joining live from a golf course because, as I tell you, it doesn't matter where he is, what he's doing. John Smoltz is going to join us here on the show. A couple of fun conversations today. First off, what did the Dodgers do with their rotation? Not first off, it's the second question I asked him, but a big one for me is what did the Dodgers do? You have five pitchers for essentially four spots in a postseason series. In no particular order: Yamamoto, Ohtani, Snell, Glasnow, Kershaw. What do you do? There's Ohtani, who's right now not throwing more than 5 innings because of his rehab. There's Kershaw, who had been pretty good until his most recent start in Pittsburgh. So what do you do? It's a conversation I've thought of a lot and had people ask me, and does Ohtani move to the bullpen? Does Kershaw stay in the rotation? Does Kershaw get out of the rotation? A really good conversation that I did want to have with John Smoltz. So we'll talk to him about that, who he thinks is the top American League team. If there was one team he had to pick to win the American League, who is it going to be? I'll ask him about that, as well as the Aroldis Chapman situation that we talked about earlier in the week. Aroldis Chapman has learned to spot his fastball. Not even learned to spot it, learned to think to spot his fastball. And it's changed everything. His walk percentage is the lowest of his career. He hasn't given up a hit since July. He has been incredible. So I'm going to ask John Smoltz about that and if he ever had an aha moment on the mound that helped him figure it all out as well. So, without further ado, let's get to him now and welcome in from a golf course, the Hall of Famer, John Smoltz. All right, and I am pumped to be joined, as we are every single week, by the Hall of Famer, John Smoltz, who is on a golf course, so I think I know this answer. John, how are we doing?
They're doing great. I'm here at the Greenbrier playing a little golf, leading
Oh,
up
I
to the
love that.
game in Dallas between the Rangers and the Astros on Saturday. So a little pre. I'm doing some. I'm doing my homework.
Exactly. And I love that. Greenbrier, not far from my home in Virginia. Beautiful place.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
John, let's start in the American League. It's a conversation I had earlier this week. It's wide open. I mean, legitimately, I can't tell you necessarily the top two or three teams that are going to win it. There's potentially five teams that could win the American League. It's a wide open American League. If you had to pick one team in the American League that you believe in the most, who would you pick?
I still pick the Tigers. Their pitching staff, the rest they're going to get. They're set up for what last year experience gave them. I think they're no longer that team you look at and go, I don't know. I think they're legit. They believe it. Their manager has given them the confidence, but it's their pitching staff. I think their ability to pitch and defend. Maybe they don't score a ton of runs all the time, but in the playoffs, it comes down to those components of being able to limit the other team. I think the rest is going to help them.
Okay. Do you have concerns with obviously you have Tarek Skubal, who I believe is the best pitcher in baseball. We've talked about him a lot. You have Tarek Skubal as one. They for the last couple of months, probably since the All-Star break, have had some issues with the guys behind him. Jack Flaherty hasn't necessarily been himself. Their additions, Charlie Morton, Chris Paddock moved to the bullpen. Do you have any concerns about the rotation come October, or is this just the dog days of summer?
I think it's the dog days. Mize has made some adjustments that I like what he's done, but you got to remember in a best of five series, which is going to be the first one,
Yeah,
they have to get through Schoolville twice.
twice.
So that's a good thing to have. And if it plays out the way Detroit wants it to play out, and they don't have long series, then your point doesn't come into play. But if
Yep.
it's a long series, then your point is very valid. But I look at all generally the teams that are in there. The Yankees obviously got hot with the schedule, allowed them to get hot and score some runs. Their pitching, you can make an argument their front two are pretty good, and you can make an argument their first four are about as good as anybody. Toronto has it, they all have the components of what would make a pitching staff that gets you through, but it's the matchups that I think that's ultimately going to decide everything. There's some matchup problems for
Yeah.
certain teams, and depending the jockeying of where they finish is really going. I mean, that's why the blueprint's so hard to pick right now.
Yeah.
If you knew the matchups and you knew who faced who in the first round, then you could kind of have an idea who's got an advantage.
And that's where AJ Hinch is a genius. I mean, the buttons he pushed last year down the stretch and in the playoffs was remarkable to see. So they have a big advantage in the managerial department as well, I think.
I think you're right. He's had that experience, he's had the success, and he's got the leverage now to not just go by all the numbers. He lets his eyes work the numbers, and he's going to push all those buttons in the bullpen. They may not have that prototypical real stopper guy, but they've got a lot of guys that they can leverage against the lineup and how it turns over.
Yep. Let's stick with a rotation talk and talk about the Dodgers. John, what would you do with the Dodgers rotation come October? Obviously it's dependent on what guy pitches where down the stretch, but you're looking at, I think, six arms and Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, Ohtani, Kershaw, and I'm missing one in there. Or no, for a playoff rotation, you have five. You don't need five.
Yeah.
What do you
No.
what do you do? Shohei's a guy right now that is not pitching more than 5 innings. Do you keep Shohei Ohtani in the rotation? Do you move him to the back into the bullpen? Do you keep Kershaw in? Do you move Kershaw out? How would you handle the Dodgers rotation come October?
It's a great question, and it's going to be one of those things that they're going to use, I think, a piggyback situation. I
Okay.
could see, Ohtani being a starter and then maybe piggybacking it with Kershaw or maybe
Okay.
piggybacking it with somebody else. They have the luxury of having choices. That doesn't always mean it's going to work out. They need pitchers pitching hot at the right time. Blake Snell needs to do what he does, and he misses bats. Glass now, same thing. And then Yamamoto, they are going to be the favorites despite whatever record wherever they land because of those pitchers
Yeah.
and because of what other teams are missing. Like Philadelphia missing Wheeler is just it's a crusher, but they're still great, right? And I think that the National League is must-see TV. It is going to be every series is going to be fantastic. And the balance in the National League, whoever comes out typically is going to be the favorite to win the World Series.
Yeah.
You would make that argument.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I was asked this the other day about the Dodgers rotation, and okay, he's not going super deep into games. How about just moving Ohtani to the back end? And my thoughts are pretty clear here. Ohtani's coming back from a second elbow surgery. He's ramping back up, rehabbing as a starter. I don't think they would just, during this process, all of a sudden ask him to do something he's never done and go
Right.
throw 1 inning in October. That to me feels like it is not happening.
No, that's not going to happen. Plus, there's too many things with him batting that have to be structured perfectly. He has to have a structured know when he's going to warm up, know when he's going to pitch, and then when
Yeah.
he's done, he continues to hit. This is going to be an interesting decision. They may not even use him in the first round. Who knows? I mean, they have the luxury of not being able to make those, having him wait till the later rounds. But I just think the Dodgers are in a very interesting spot. They haven't played as well as we thought they would. They don't have as many wins as we thought they would. But come postseason, their goal is to just get their guys lined up healthier than they were last year. They won it last year despite it. This year, if they're going to win it, they're not going to win it because of their bullpen. They're going to win it because of their starting staff.
Yeah. John, I want to ask you about Aroldis Chapman. He has gone 16 straight outings without allowing a hit, 47 straight batters, hasn't allowed a hit since July. And I don't know if you saw this because you're not on social media, but a story came out of why he's had a resurgence and his walk rate is so low. Did you happen to see it?
I didn't. I didn't see it.
Aroldis Chapman in spring training had his catcher Connor Wong hit the pitch com, and it said inside fastball. And he threw an inside fastball, and it went well. And after the outing, he went up to Connor Wong and Veritek and said, "I've never thought to spot my fastball." When PitchCom said inside fastball, it made me think, I should try and throw this inside. I've always just I throw 103. Here it is, hit it. For the first time in his career, the lowest walk rate of his career, it's because Aroldis Chapman heard through PitchCom to spot his fastball, and now he's actually trying to throw his fastball to a spot instead of just throwing it over the plate. First off, thoughts on hearing that?
Well, go figure. That's called pitching, and it's called positive reinforcement. I think the fact that again, numbers say just throw it as hard as you can in that box is what most people adhere to, and you're going to get a variety of strikeouts and walks because of that. But if you actually pitch with the stuff he has, look what he's done. So good for him. It definitely works. It's worked for 110 years. It'll work for another 110 years.
Did you ever, obviously, I don't think it was this. I think you came up trying to hit some spots. But did you ever throughout your career have like an aha moment where it just like clicked for you and it was just a simple thought and you just ran with that?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was mechanics. Once when I clicked in mechanically and got the feeling of a down and away fastball, and for me it's different. I didn't throw where the spot was set up. I don't. Although I like that, I threw where I thought the ball would end up. So I would start my pitches to throw where they would end up. I didn't start them at a spot. So it's different for each guy. It's different. The way your eyes work. So that's the way it worked for me.
Awesome. John, I really appreciate your time this week. I know you're mid-round. I hope you finish with a bang, and then you're off to watch Astros and Rangers.
Look forward to it. Thanks.
All right, just wanted to thank John for joining us here on the show, as he does every single week. I tend to agree with him. I do think the Dodgers rotation looks something like a piggyback situation with I guess whatever option they decide to go with. But I do not see a world in which Shohei Ohtani is pitching out of the bullpen in October. I just don't see it happen with the way he's rehabbing, with the sensitivity of an arm injury and his rehab and all of that. I think the rotation looks something like I would probably go Yamamoto, Snell, Glasnow, and then Ohtani. And then I guess piggyback off of Ohtani with Kershaw, or just have maybe not piggyback off of Ohtani, but have Kershaw ready in case any of those first four starts don't go as planned. You have Kershaw as a long inning reliever, in my opinion. So we'll see what the Dodgers decide to do. Their rotation is going to be interesting. Their team as a whole is interesting. I agree with John. They will probably be the favorite to win, but the Dodgers have their issues. The Dodgers have some big-time issues, and what do they do? How do they do? What do they do with the back end of their bullpen that has been a big question mark? We shall see. But a fun show nonetheless. I appreciate you all for listening and watching as you do, hopefully every single week. If you're listening, hit that subscribe button, follow button on your podcast, and watch us on our YouTube channel. Flippin' Bats Pod is where our YouTube channel is. You can watch every single episode. You can see John and I talk back and forth. You can leave a comment, which really helps. So if you're watching right now on YouTube, leave a comment. I love hopping in there and talking to you guys and continuing this conversation. Please subscribe as well. Like the video while you're there. All of that really does help a lot. So that's Flippin' Bats Pod is our YouTube channel, and we're on all social media as well at Flippin' Bats Pod. Enjoy the weekend of baseball, my friends. Couple really good series over the weekend. We're in the home stretch. It's September. There's less than 30 games left. There's like 25 games left in the season, and we got a bunch of good races to go, and we'll talk about them all on Monday. Until then, my friends, remember, find your bat and flip it. Peace.